Welcome back to Ireland AM. The time is now 15 minutes past 9. Good morning. Now, whether it's on the stage, on the radio or topping the charts, he's a familiar face to country music fans across the country. Yes, and we're delighted to welcome Derek Grind to the couch this morning. Good morning.
Derek.
But first, let's take a look at his brand new song. They're singing it here all morning.
We are.
Plough On Paddy.
Toe tapping.
He learned to plough the fields and read the weather and talk about the soul and the spirit of the land. Plough on, Paddy, plough on. The better days of life have been and gone. There's nothing left for you but the ground you stand upon. So plough on, Paddy, plough on.
Plough on, Paddy.
You're going to be playing at Jeremy Clarkson's farm before we know it, like the chorus.
Royalties.
Come here to me. That song, it's doing gangbusters.
It's absolutely flying. Yeah, it's a collaboration with Jack Keogh. He's a young rising star of Irish country. I'm a big fan of his, and he's a great writer as well. So we got together with Gerry Carney, who I've been writing songs with for many years, and the three of us wrote Plough On Paddy. And then a few weeks ago, we took over a farmyard in Mayo for the video, and you can see Crow Patrick in the background. We've got a beautiful day, so...
That was intentional. It said, well, let's get out into a real farm, a real working farm and do this, yeah.
Otherwise, the lads will know.
Keep it country.
Well, the song tells a story, I suppose. It's, you know, there's a lot of lads went away to England and places and came back to look after the family farm, and so there's lots of paddies out there.
What's that elixir? Because as soon as I heard that, I was, you know, you're toe tapping, you're getting into it and it gets into your head. That earworm that gets into your head.
I suppose it's just to me, it's like a typical Irish country song. Like, Irish country is very different to American country. I think Irish, well, it's such a broad genre anyway, but for me, Irish country is a mix of folk and a lot of trad and that jive beat, you know, as you say, that toe tapping beat, and a song that tells a story that a lot of people can relate to, and that hook, just Plough On Paddy, came into my head one day, and I said, you know what, let's plough on with it.
and to do it with Jack there, and you sort of say newish to the scene, been coming around. But I always find that with country artists, they all really support each other. It's like from Daniel down, who'd be very open and welcoming in new people and giving advice to people.
Yeah, I think it's I think collaborations are important, you know, because I've been on the road now like 15 years with my band, and I think it's 17 years since my debut single, you know, on the country scene. So, you know, it works both ways. It works for him, and it opens up, I suppose, him to my audience, different things, and then vice versa, you know, to the newer audience, for, you know, the younger audience for me. So collaborations are great, and I just enjoy them, and it's different headspace as well, you know, it takes you in different directions. So.
You've been... you just mentioned there 17 years in the country music scene, and we're all talking a lot about boy bands recently with the reformation of Boyzone and everything that's going on in Emirates Stadium. And I remember when they announced the new band D-Side.
Don't say it.
I have to say it. I think
Do we have the pictures?
I think I've only ever spoken to you once about D-Side before. So this was one of these, you know, manufactured pop bands that were kind of put together around the time of Westlife and all that, like everything that was going on. And you were in it. Very different genre to what you're in now. What was, like, because it was being launched on, like, it was such a big deal.
Yeah, but it was a lot of work before we kind of, you know, we got together. I think I was in 6th year. So I had my leaving cert to do, and we were rehearsing twice a week up in Dublin, and we auditioned, as you say, in Temple Bar, and kind of got together. But it was a couple of years. We moved to London then, and before we got signed to Warner Music in London, it was like a lot of work and a lot of hours went into it. And then we kind of had 2 years of, let's say, the big time of the big push, you know, the tour managers and the stylists every morning and all that kind of thing. And it was an amazing experience, but unfortunately it didn't work out the way we kind of...
Well, you were part of that machine that we're seeing in documentaries now.
Yeah,
the sort of rough side of the machine where you are a commodity.
Yeah, like, I mean, when it all kind of ran its course, it was devastating, really. You know, it was.
Were you dropped?
1 minute you're at all the premieres, and you know you're on
on TV
Angelina
shows,
Jolie
and
and Johnny Depp are up on the red carpet behind you, and then next day you're nothing really to the record.
And what was it? Just going, no, lads, the record companies saying no, we're
yeah,
done.
we're done basically pushing you. And then we kind of got a few more years out of it because we did #1 in Japan, which was amazing, you know, with a song called Invisible. So we did a few tours out there and different things, and it kind of just then kind of fizzled out. And but look, I was always into country, and I grew up with Irish country. I was gigging when I was 12 with my brother Adrian as the Ryan Brothers, and we did social dances, and I grew up listening to all the Irish country stars, you know. So it was kind of full circle when I came back around to doing what I was just kind of naturally, I don't know, it was in my blood, really.
It didn't give you the sort of whole thing about music industry, like going, oh, I'm just going to leave it.
Well, I kind of did.
Well, no, but then you sort of go, let's go back to my roots. Let's go back to what I did.
You know what? I was happy enough. I moved back from London, and I was gigging at, like, in pubs and doing weddings and stuff like that. And I was happy enough. I was back in college and in the IT in Carlow, and things were going grand. So it wasn't a case of like I really needed it to happen, which I think was actually nice, if you know what I mean. But then once the door opened with God's plan, I said I'm not gonna let this drop. This second time I'm going to work night and day to make this work.
But to pick yourself back up after something like that, when we look back, because we're all, you know, with 2020 looking back on how young kids were treated in that industry 20 years ago, and Derek, it was vicious.
Yeah.
Is that how it felt like at the time?
I mean, look, I could write a book on it, really, you know. But I suppose, in a way, my proudest thing, really, looking back, is that I did come back, and I did. But my dad used to always say to me, you know, look, keep, you know, Cream always writes, if you just keep plugging away and keep doing your thing, something will happen somewhere along the way. And I think that, and keep working hard, and I think that's, you know.
And I think it's extraordinary, you have to mention, my God, do you work hard? Like, no,
how many times you see is it's a truck, not a van.
It's a truck, it's not a van. Sorry.
Driving the truck, though.
He's not driving the truck, I know. But I see Derek Ryan's truck going up and down the M7 constantly. There it is there. Like, constantly moving between gigs. Like, it's got your face on the side.
It's costing me a fortune.
I was going to say that. The way people are going on about, like, diesel
and the protests, my God.
Exactly. Does it get a bit worrying, seriously, about, like, the cost of gigs now for when you're on the road so much?
Yeah, I mean, look, we would, my road manager, Sean, would be, you know, sometimes the gigs would be north, south and back to the north. And, you know, with all the restrictions and even with the driving and all, it's tough logistically to keep everything together.
Saying, can we do 6 gigs up there in a row?
That's not the way it works.
Unfortunately,
But how do you find it? Because you are on the road constantly, going home every night. You know, it's something you do you love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's your job, right?
Yeah,
it's your career. But you got to love the amount of work that you have to do with it.
I suppose it's that adrenaline, really, of gigging. Now, as I've kind of, you know, as I said, on the road quite a while now, I've kind of learned to find that balance between work life, as we all kind of do as we get a bit older. But like, I love gigging. I've been gigging, as I said, since I was 12. So that's 30 years now. So, it's all part of it. You know, I do a lot of work off the stage as well. I do a lot of work in the studio. I do a lot of songwriting. So I kind of have the best of both worlds, really.
So tell us about this Farmers Bash now. You'd be heading up north.
Yes.
Friday the 12th of June. This is this coming Friday.
Yeah.
What's the Farmers Bash?
Great lineup.
Well, the Farmers Bash...
This is some lineup, yeah.
It started 9 years ago, and it was in the SSC Arena. And I've been headlining pretty much every year since then. It even continued through lockdown. We had a drive-in gig, which was surreal, up in Ballymena, and there was tractors and cars, and everyone, when you finish the song, people...
beeping their horns.
And wipers going and flashing lights. I don't know whether I meant they liked it or they hated it. But anyway, we kept going anyway. And then we played... 2 years ago, we played Belsonic, and it was absolutely amazing. We're back there this year. And the lineup, you know, it's pretty much bringing country to the city, really. But the lineup is more diverse in the last couple of years. So there's loads of acts on.
Your Boys Life, which is this year.
Yeah.
So that's just showing you how, like,
Darren Noon.
Yeah.
Darren Noon.
Will I join them for a song? Will I know a boy band song or something?
There you go. There you go. The boy band back together.
If Brian McFadden can go out for Westlife, you can go out with Boys Life. That would be, I'd bring D-side to Boys Life.
Yeah.
So this is on the Farmers Bash. It's Belfast, Friday the 12th of June. It's gone so, like, it's huge now.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, there was over 20,000 at it 2 years ago. It's going to be another big night Friday night. It's just an amazing gig, you know. It's the highlight of the year for us, really.
Brilliant.
You know.
And Plough On Paddy.
Plough On Paddy.
And my God, is it ploughing on? It's available wherever you want it, wherever you get your singles. That's going to be the big one now. Like,
yeah,
like people will be mad for that on Friday.
Sometimes songs come along and they're kind of instant, you know. Could do with a few more of them, but it's straight away. It's been filling dance floors, festivals. You know, I even performed it twice the other night. We're actually at a big festival there, Cowboys and Heroes in Ballinamore a few weeks ago, and it went down absolute storms. So it's great. I'm delighted with it.
It's so good.
I love to see it, these dances around the country, and you get the mix of ages from like 14-year-olds to 94-year-olds all up dancing and loving it and having the best time.
Yeah, that's it. No, it's in us, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
Derek couldn't wind down after his gig last night. He's like, I got 2 hours sleep. Why is this so early? DerekRyanMusic.com is where you can find out everything. The song is called Plough On Paddy, and he's going to be at the Farmers Bash in Belfast this Friday. Derek, thanks a million for getting up and chatting to us. Really do appreciate it.
Now, still lots more to come. We'll see in a few minutes.